She signed the receipt with a shaking hand. $4,127.86 for a dinner she never wanted, to eat at a table full of people who never once asked if she could afford it. But here's the part nobody at that table knew. 3 months later, that same woman would stand in front of 50 guests, hold up her phone, and destroy her family's carefully built image with a single slide. And what she was about to reveal wasn't just a spreadsheet of numbers. It was proof that this dinner was never an accident. It was planned against her. This is the story of Emily Carter, 26, from Boston, Massachusetts, and how one lobster dinner became the most expensive mistake her family ever made. If you love true revenge stories with twists that hit you when you least expect them, hit like right now and subscribe, because I promise you, you will not see the ending coming. Let's go back to where it all started. Emily grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts, in a middle-class household. Her father, Richard, worked as an insurance agent. Her mother, Diane, stayed home. She had an older brother, Tyler, 29, always the golden child, and a younger sister, Madison, 22, still finishing college. Emily was the responsible one, top of her class, self-funded college through scholarships, and a job straight out of graduation at a financial consulting firm in Boston, pulling in $95,000 a year. The moment her paycheck grew, so did the requests. First it was small $200 here, a car payment there. Then it became routine. Then it became expected. Over 3 years, Emily quietly handed her family roughly $18,000 and never once got a thank you in return. Her boyfriend, Daniel, warned her more than once. This isn't family helping family. This is one way. Emily always defended them. Until the night that changed everything. It was her parents' 30th wedding anniversary. The family picked the Neptune's Table, a high-end Boston seafood restaurant known for live lobster tanks, and a menu where a single entry could run past $150. Here's exactly how the bill hit for figures, because this wasn't some cartoonish exaggeration. It was 7 people at a restaurant built to drain wallets. Over 2.5 hours, 3 market special lobsters, priced by weight, averaging $1.80210 each, because Tyler insisted on the largest one in the tank. 4 premium seafood platters at $95.120 each for the rest of the table. 3 bottles of wine, handpicked by Richard, at $140, $160, and $210 because it's a special occasion. Appetizers, a raw bar tower, and multiple rounds of desserts for the table. An automatic 20% gratuity for a party of 7, built into the bill before anyone even asked. Added up, and $4,127.86. Stops sounding fake. It starts sounding exactly like what happens when a family with expensive taste decides someone else's footing the bill, and nobody bothers to check the damage as it happens. Emily herself ordered a $34 salmon dish and 1 glass of wine. Total, under $60. When the check came, Richard slid the folder straight to her. "You make the most at this table, honey. Anniversary dinner's on you." Diane backed him up. Tyler, who'd just finished an entire bottle of wine solo, added, "Don't be dramatic. It's family money." Emily looked around the table. No one flinched. No one offered to split it. This wasn't a mistake, it was a habit dressed up as tradition. She paid every cent, plus a tip nobody else thought to add. And in that moment, something in her went cold and quiet. That night, Daniel was furious. But it was what he said next that planted the first seed of something bigger. Has this happened before? Exactly like this? Feels almost too smooth for a one-time thing. Emily brushed it off at first, but she couldn't sleep. She opened her laptop and started pulling 3 years of bank statements, building a spreadsheet. Date, amount, reason, total, $18,340. And then the first unexpected twist. While digging through old text threads for records, Emily found a message from 8 months earlier, buried in a chat with her cousin Rachel. "Lol, my mom said something kind of messed up about Emily last week. Ask me about it sometime." Emily had never followed up. Now, she called Rachel. What Rachel told her turned Emily's stomach. At a family gathering months before the anniversary dinner, she'd overheard Diane telling a relative, half joking, Emily never says no. Might as well use it while it lasts. It wasn't a one-off comment. It was a mindset, and possibly a plan. Emily didn't confront anyone yet. She just started paying very close attention. Emily's plan changed. This wasn't just about setting boundaries anymore. She needed proof. Real, undeniable proof that this wasn't a misunderstanding, but a pattern her family had quietly counted on. Step 1: financial distance. She quietly canceled the $300 transfer to her mom. No warning. Step 2: documentation. She built her spreadsheet, saved the lobster dinner receipt, and started saving screenshots of every guilt trip text that came in over the following weeks. Step 3: the lawyer. She consulted a family law attorney about Tyler's unpaid $3,500 loan and asked something else while she was there: how to legally record a conversation in Massachusetts, in case she ever needed to prove what she suspected. Step 4: the second twist. While setting up an old shared family cloud drive to pull photos for Madison's graduation slideshow, Emily stumbled onto a folder she wasn't meant to see. A group text export, apparently backed up automatically months earlier. Buried in it was a message from Richard to Diane, sent the week before the anniversary dinner. Let's do the nice place. Emily will cover it. She always does. Don't make it weird. Just let it happen naturally. Emily sat frozen at her kitchen table. It wasn't an assumption anymore. It wasn't a bad habit anymore. It was a plan. Written down, with her name in it, decided before she'd even walked into that restaurant. She saved the screenshot, and she knew exactly what she needed to do with it. 2 months later, Madison's graduation party was being planned, and true to form, the family assumed Emily would cover the $2,500 venue and catering. This time, Emily didn't hesitate to sound cooperative, almost too cooperative. I want to handle this one myself. Let me plan a surprise. Don't worry about a thing. The family was thrilled. Diane even said to a relative, "See, I told you she always comes through." Behind the scenes, Emily booked a modest venue instead of the upscale hall they expected, arranged simple catering, and quietly requested one specific thing from the event staff: a large screen for a family slideshow set to run at a precise moment during the night. She didn't tell a single person what was actually on it. 50 guests. Cake cut. Madison glowing. Then Emily took the mic. "I have something to share," she said, smiling, and the room quieted, expecting a toast. The first slides were what everyone expected: the $18,340 in unpaid support, the receipts, the lobster dinner bill blown up on the big screen. Uncomfortable silence. A few gasps. Diane's face went pale. Then came the moment nobody, not even Daniel, knew was coming. Emily said calmly, "I want to be clear. I'm not upset that my family needed help sometimes. I'm upset because I found out it was never really help. It was a plan." She tapped her phone. The final slide loaded on the screen. The exact screenshot of Richard's message to Diane. "Let's do the nice place. Emily will cover it. She always does. Don't make it weird. Just let it happen naturally." The room went completely silent. Guests read it twice, 3 times, to be sure they weren't misunderstanding. Diane's hands went to her mouth. Richard stared at the floor, unable to look up. Even Tyler, who'd been smirking through most of the night, went pale. Emily let the silence sit for a long 5 seconds before she spoke again. "This wasn't a one-time thing that got out of hand. It was decided before I ever sat down at that table. And I think everyone in this room deserves to know that, especially the people who've quietly told me they saw the same thing happen to them, in smaller ways, for years." Then, the second gut punch. Emily revealed that she'd already spoken with 3 other relatives in the room: an aunt, a cousin, and a family friend who had privately admitted they'd experienced the exact same pattern with Diane and Richard over the years, being quietly maneuvered into covering costs, then guilted if they hesitated. "I'm not the only one," Emily said. "I was just the one who finally checked the receipts." She looked at Tyler last. "And the $3,500 you owe me, my lawyer already has the letter ready. I'd rather you just pay it back." She set the mic down and walked back to her seat, leaving 50 stunned guests, a shattered image, and a family finally forced to see themselves clearly. The fallout was real. For weeks, there was silence. Richard and Diane didn't speak to Emily. Tyler avoided her calls. But eventually, something shifted. Tyler, publicly exposed and privately embarrassed, started repaying the debt. Madison, who'd had no idea any of this was happening behind the scenes, reached out first. "I didn't know him. I'm so sorry." Richard and Diane took the longest. It was almost 2 months before Diane finally called, her voice quieter than Emily had ever heard it. "I don't have an excuse. I just got used to you never saying no. I'm sorry." It wasn't an instant fix, but it was real. For the first time in years, Emily still loves her family. She still helps sometimes. But now, every single time, it's a choice, never an assumption. And never a plan made without her. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Emily found proof her family had planned this in advance. If you found a message like that about you planned behind your back, would you have confronted them privately? Or exposed it in front of everyone the way Emily did? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And I want to know where you draw the line. If this story hit you the way it hit me, smash that like button. Subscribe for more real, jaw-dropping revenge stories every week. And hit the bell so you never miss the next one. See you in the next story.